Lane switch, lanes wish was on the same, but my aim to take my name and brand it. Landry famous, handed down to generations. Don't have limitations, preparing the fan for all the celebrations.
In the mirror with me, love myself feeling free. G-O-D is inside of me. In the mirror with me, love myself feeling free. G-O-D is inside of me. Most feel threatened by your presence. It's the God in you that keep you going. Down 10 times, get up 11 and you keep on going. Glow up, glow up, glow up, glow up, yeah, yeah. Glow up, glow up, glow up, glow up, yeah, yeah.
Alright, we're back with episode 2, or the pilot episode number 2. It's Big Boxx.
Lil Boxx.
And thank you for coming again back to the next episode of Connis University Autism. All right, and now we're just gonna continue on speaking on Lil Boxx's journey from the beginning and getting to where he's at now. All right, we left off kindergarten, first, second grade. So what can you say, really, how was the time frame, around the time frame in your life, third, fourth grade time frame? So you could go into that and speak on if you were aware of the many differences within yourself or uniqueness within yourself dealing with being on the spectrum. What do you remember about those days?
I remember, well, I basic third and fourth grade was great. I met some new people and made some new friends, and I kind of liked it.
You kind of liked it? Okay, I know a lot about just like third or fourth grade. So how old were you at third or fourth grade? That makes you what, 8, 9 years old? 7, 8, 9 years old, somewhere right there, third, fourth grade, like 8, 9 years old, right? All right. So as far as yourself and around that time, being like 8, 9 years old, third, fourth grade, like, yeah, like 8, 9 years old, like third, fourth grade. I'm trying to think. 10? Okay, so like 9, 10. So how was life for you like 9, 10 years old? How was your mind functioning? What did you notice? What did you see? How did you perceive life? You understand what I'm asking?
I think so.
Okay, well, just explain that to me. Just not school per se, but around that age. How did you look at life?
I look at it sometimes differently.
Differently? Okay. When you speak about differently, how different was life, the way you looked at it?
Oh, I didn't notice it at first.
Okay. And what you didn't notice?
That I was acting like an autistic person.
Okay, so how were you actually acting?
I have been stemming a lot and losing eye contact whenever you or mom were talking to me, and I kind of get misunderstood when you ask me to do something, and it kind of go off in my own mind.
In your own mind? So that's around when you really started creating like your own separate reality in a sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the things about you going off in your own separate reality, was that more so of a coping mechanism trying to deal with what was going on in your everyday life? So not understanding what was different in regards to interacting with everybody else.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So what was the first instance you feel like you kind of went into your own reality or kind of created your own world?
I thought it kind of happens wherever I do a thing.
Okay. So back then, what was like your first thing? What was the thing? What you would refer to as a thing?
Like making these scenes, like these scenes in my mind that plays out wherever I grab something or play with it. It's just like a whole little movie inside my head, just serpentating what's going on every time I play with something. Like for example, my pie cleaner dolls slash models.
Okay, so that's how like you used to do back then. When you were young, we would be looking at TV or looking at a show, and you'll just catch a certain piece, and then you'll walk away,
Yeah.
and then you'll create. So basically, you were creating your own version of that in your head. You just took that like the little piece of the TV show, and then you went and created the rest of it yourself.
Mhm.
Okay, and was it kind of like that as well? Like you would walk away. I remember you would walk away into another room, but you would still hear everything going on the TV show without even looking at it, and come back and know about it. So all that was kind of relative, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So when did you really say, okay, after doing all that, when did you say, okay, I'm gonna worry about this more than I worry about? Because I remember at a time, around that time, you were more into your mind than into the present moment. So as far as this, and this is what probably parents want to know, and even um, typical people, then you were able to differentiate reality from what was going on in your mind, or was it all mixed together?
It was all kind of mixed together.
Oh, okay, all right. So when it was all kind of mixed together, so what made you start? Was it the way my parenting with you and mom's parenting with you that really made you start disassociating and knowing that one is real and one isn't? Did it take you a while to do that, or did you know that instantly when we started telling you that?
I basically don't know.
You don't know? So it's like as you got older, you started being able to tell the difference? Okay. So now we're really in like the third, fourth grade time. So how was your social skills then? You were still good at social skills back then?
Well, not actually. I have been very low, but I have been social with my friends.
Okay, so at that point you were still social with what, Ethan and Steven, right?
Yeah.
And there was a couple of other people back then, right?
Ever since the pandemic, I've been radio silent from them ever since.
Okay, we're gonna get to the pandemic. Right now we're just really in the third, fourth grade. So third or fourth grade was really like 2016, 17, around that time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so around 2016, 2017, that's where we're still in that area, in that time. So how was your, like we're gonna revisit that question. So how really was your social life then?
It, it was going swell when I interact with certain people.
Okay, so back then, as far as when you're interacting was it like now to where your interacting had to be based off of what you want to do, or was it what your friends wanted to do as well? Was it, or back then, was it just still pertaining to what's going on with yourself?
It's still pertaining myself.
It was still pertaining to yourself. So back then, it was just that with your things you were into, everybody that you were hanging with were into, versus now. Correct.
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, well, can you elaborate on that for me?
Well, it was a little difficult for me to interact with my classmates. I kind of interact with Steven and Ethan more. We hung out both together, and we just started making our own comics made of scrap paper. And we basically had a blast when we first decided to do our own comic business.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, so you said that's when you guys decided to do the comic business. I know at your school everything was driven off of and is still driven off of entrepreneurship. So going into in that stage, and you were at that stage. Who class were you in at that time? Third, fourth grade.
I think I was in my teacher's Miss Doobie's class.
Miss Doobie, and that was third grade or fourth grade.
Fourth.
Oh, fourth grade. So all right. So
in
now,
third grade, I had another teacher named Miss Perez.
Miss Perez, yeah. And I remember, so Miss Perez was the third grade, and then so that's when we had the meeting with Miss Perez, was when you was in third grade, and it was trying to let us know that you were on the spectrum. Yeah, okay. And I remember those days, and I was apprehensive because I know, like I understand the spectrum, and I understand some things are overly incentivized by the powers that be, because it is beneficial to their structure. So I want to be careful. I'm choosing my words with this because I do, at this point, I do understand everything on the spectrum dealing with you kids and you young adults are real. I'm not taking that away, but I do understand the powers that be and how it's incentivized. It comes with money, it comes with funding, it comes with stereotypes, it comes with branding in a sense on certain children from certain demographics, and also the resources, how it's implemented comes to certain children, certain demographics, certain people. So it's so I understand that. So when it came to you, I was just looking at it like, it was just different little things then that didn't materialize for dad or for mom back then. It's because we just was looking at it because you being third and fourth grade, you being in that peculiar state is an average thing for a third or fourth grader. So it wasn't certain things that really stood out to us then. But between Miss Perez and Miss Bynum and Miss Woods, that was told to us that you possibly was on the spectrum then. We kind of didn't look at it. I just looked at it as, okay, you're not from the hood like we from, so you just was a little different, and our culture, how it's marketed, wasn't really interesting to you. You understand what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how it was. So that makes sense, really remembering those times of really looking at it. So we basically got like maybe 3 minutes left in this episode, or this portion of the second pilot. I know you're not gonna let me say episode until you get it like you want to get it. So what you want to say closing out this one?
All right. Can I say something about the demo?
You can't say nothing about the demo yet, no. Not yet. We're not gonna speak on that yet. We'll speak on that more and more as we go along when we get to where you are. All right, so speak about, so you did, all right, so we possibly can speak a little bit about it. So that's when you did start coding around that time, right? So that's when you started on Woodgate.
Way back in 2020. I started this.
It's not 2020. We're in 2015 and 16 right now. So how was your coding and learning computer generation and all that? You was doing it then, right?
No, I wasn't.
You wasn't? So you was just doing the comic books.
Yeah.
So you didn't start coding until the next. So we'll start talking about the coding on the next pilot 3. Okay? Yes. So finish it off. We got 2 minutes for you to finish this one off. What you got to say?
Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm glad you all could make it. Please subscribe to our channel and comment down below what you think about this whole thing. Thanks for watching. See you, Connis Universe of the Autism. Lil Boxx.
And it's Big Boxx. Alright. And we really got like a minute and something left, but we could end this one off a little bit earlier. Check you out on the next pilot, pilot number 3. And signing off, remember to always be royalty. One life, one love, one God. Peace.
Boxx-A-Million.
Boxx-A-Million. Boxx-A-Million.
Mighty Lion of Judah.